Guys, you know when like you're just chilling by yourself and then you have this imaginary interview running in your mind and you're giving your favorite interviewer all the tea. You're speaking and you're talking and you're making jokes until one moment it hits you like, oh yeah, I'm actually talking to myself.
Anyway, so
Yeah, I've had one of those. And then I was like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. I used to have a YouTube channel. Oh, here I am, back at it. I'm kind of feeling a little bit lost in my life, and I feel like it's both a good thing and a bad thing, and I'll explain why shortly. I have just been like existing, as in I've been neutral. I've been mentally neutral. I have not been a dark place, but I'm also not like where I know I've been and it's been great mentally. I've just been neutral. So I'm just like feeling very lost. Let's start from the beginning. I finished my studies. I am one step closer to becoming a lawyer. Let's give it up. Let's give it per. I'm done with my exams, done with all the hard stuff. However, we all know that awkward phase between, you're done with your studies, but you still haven't graduated yet, so you don't have all the formal, like accolades for you to be out there in the real world. And that's kind of where we are. Of course, there's so many opportunities out there, so many internships. There's even people who are willing to hire you when you're still like in that period between like finishing your studies and getting on with life, now as a full-fledged adult. But it's a bit awkward for the most part, because sometimes you're underqualified and sometimes you're overqualified for some jobs. So there's been that. Although I must say I'm very happy that I haven't felt that pressure to just like get a job, do something, because honestly, if I've said this before countless times on this channel, I am this person who's always like, let's go. What's the next thing? What's the next move? I need to do that. I do this. I need to do that. Have you finished that? Let's go. They're getting that. We got it. Are you doing this? Non-stop. Before I finished my exams, I gave myself like a heads up. I was just like, Angie, for once, just do nothing. Do nothing, even if it's just for 1 week. Even if it's, babes, do nothing. Babe, hello, is this Angie? Yeah, I want you to do nothing for the rest of like the month. Is that okay? Yeah, let me just schedule in. I'm not in a place where I feel like this pressure, like I need to get a job tomorrow. But it's still, that thing where you know better, but you still find yourself thinking about it. And it's because of the people around you are moving on. People are securing jobs. People are doing internships. People are doing this. People are doing that. And even if you're secure in yourself and you know your path, it's still like, whoa. Am I really just gonna sit home? And then there's this other thing where you're just like, okay, so what do I do with myself now? If you're familiar with golden child syndrome, there's this thing where you're just like, you want to be perfect. You've grown up being great at everything. Everybody knows you're good at this and that. I don't, saying that I have that is a bit, yeah, but I feel like I have that. And now just being like chilling with no expectations and no responsibilities on myself, I don't know what to do with myself, child. I'm struggling, and I know like that's like something I should work on, because I should be able to relax without feeling like I'm like useless, for lack of a better word. But that's something else that makes me feel lost sometimes, because my identity for so long has been tied to my output as a person, whether that's being a student, an employee, an intern. I'm used to living a life where there's so many expectations and responsibilities on me. And now that I'm here, it's just like I don't know what to do with myself. But at the same time, it's a good place to be at the moment. I'm just trying to let myself rest. So that's me feeling lost on a personal level. Me feeling lost on a like greater scale just comes from all the information I've been taking in from YouTube, especially. I'll admit, I love YouTube. I'm always on YouTube. It's like my number one source of entertainment, information, education. There's so many things going on in the world right now. There's so much, violence. The economies are sinking. And there's so much chaos, I feel like. And there's so much uncertainty. And people are scared, especially financially. And securing a job in this economy. It's just so much uncertainty and so much anxiety in the world. And I know I'm not the only one feeling like this. And so like just, you know, consuming that kind of information that's just kind of feeding you the uncertainty and the pressure that's currently in the world has also made me like kind of have a mini existential crisis. I don't know if this is what they call the quarterly crisis, because I'm not too far from 25 years old, but I feel like I've just been questioning a lot of everything, especially like I've said, you know, coming from being like a golden child and just like being told, you know, you're gonna work hard, you're gonna get good grades, and then you're gonna get a good job. You remember how guys used to be told, like, you know, when you get the best grades, you're not even gonna be looking for a job, honey, they're gonna be looking for you. And I know that's kind of still true to some extent, but it's like, you know, the reality is very unsettling. Everything is looking so bleak, but it is what it is also at the end of the day, and you have to be, you know, akin to reality. So I've just been questioning a lot of like, why is it that when it's our turn, you know, to get into the real world, to enjoy life, make a good buck, buy a new house, get a good car, go on vacation, you know, all those good things that everyone wants and thinks about when you're like in school studying, like your motivation is your future self somewhere on the beach. Why is it that when it's our turn to be adults, all of a sudden everything is so, you know, hard, prices are through the roof, everything is just so chaotic. I've just been struggling a lot with that as well, and I try not to be bitter. I try to rationalize things. I try to stay hopeful, but the truth is I'm not perfect. I really am not perfect, and sometimes these thoughts get to me and I just feel bad. And I think it's also just like confirmation bias, because I've been consuming a lot of information, you know, related to this nature. You know, we've had so many conspiracy theories, we've had so many news about things taking a drastic change, and I don't even know if normal is a thing we can look forward to again. I think this is our new normal, and people have accepted that for the most part, but it's still like, wow, this is it. Yeah, so I'm just like at a point where I feel like I don't know my place anymore. Of course, I'm still pushing myself to do what I can and leave the rest to God. But it's also just kind of annoying, if I'm just being honest. If I'm just being like plain honest down from my heart, it's just annoying to know that we're the generation that gets to live through this mess. Yeah, so that's where I've kind of been mentally. But I must say, I have been, you know, apart from all that, I have been so blissful. I think there's a certain power that comes with neutrality, because in as much as I'm saying, you know, I felt bad, I feel disillusioned, I'm also just kind of like, you know, what am I going to do about it? I'm one person. I can't change the future. I can't change anything. If that's how things are going to be, they're going to be like that. The best I can do is just prep myself mentally. So the reason I was saying I feel lost, but it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, is because knowing myself, I've been such a control freak all my life. Not really to that extent. Oh my God, I exaggerated. Not to that extent, but I love, you know, I'm that person with a checklist all the time. I'm that person who wants to know, what are we doing at this time? What are we doing at this time? What are we doing at this time? I can't do that at this time. I got this going on. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been that person. And for me to even accept that I feel lost, it means I've let go of certain like control over my life. And that's kind of like a sign of growth, to be honest. And I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, where you're just like learning to let things go more and let them work out for you. And you know, the thing is, this has been working wonders ever since I started letting go and like hoping so hard and wishing so hard and trying so hard to control everything. Things have kind of just been working themselves out. And I think the reason I even feel lost is because part of me that used to be like so used to things going, you know, on a schedule, on a certain like this, now has to deal with the fact that you're okay, you can let go and things will still move. But maybe it's not that bad. So one thing I've learned from, you know, channels like Einzelganger, and I cannot recommend this channel enough. It has so many insights about learning to just be a centered, calm person. One of the insights I got from a recent video I watched is just flowing like a river, you know? flowing like a river and just seeing where things take you and just accepting that you don't have control anymore or at all or ever. And that's kind of what I'm trying to just remind myself every day, no matter how strange, how scary, how unpredictable everything is looking at the moment. I'm just trying to just, remind myself to go with the flow like a river, because once you let all these things internalize, then they become your reality. I'm a firm believer that, what is in here is what reflects outwards. If you think about a red car today, when you go out to the streets, all you're going to see are red cars, because that's what's in your mind. So I have to keep reminding myself that. I have to keep reminding Angie, I have to keep doing that. I'm trying to learn. I really am trying. Even with this feeling lost thing, I'm just trying to just remind myself to let go of control. And that sounds so abstract to say. That sounds very abstract to say, but it makes so much sense. So I guess the crux of this video is just saying, everything is going up in flames, but I guess we'll see. That's it. We'll see. No need to fret, no need to worry, especially because most of these global issues, you can only do so much. And I'm not encouraging complacency. I'm not encouraging, a laissez-faire attitude. If there's something you can do, by all means, get to it. But for the love of God, there's only so much you can do as one person, and worrying is definitely not one of those things. And that's how we're going to end this video. One of the quotes that has actually carried me through this feeling lost season is from Rick and Morty, when Rick was telling Morty, everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, well, it's not the end. That's been carrying me through this season. I can't even tell you. It's always the random things. That you would never think would make a difference that actually end up doing it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next time. Goodbye.